Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. Not too bad. Very busy. I'm cooking my tea, so I'm going to sort of be with you for about half an hour probably, and probably eating my tea for most of that as well. So, yeah, I'm on tea duty.
Love it. Welcome, rebels and rule breakers, all 955 of you, as we have just found out today that we hit. Oh, hang on, just extra streaming poll there. So 955.
50 more to go. 50 more to go.
There's loads of people invited that are waiting in the wings, so you never know, we might tip over.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, or we'll see.
Yeah, but out of those 950, we have Nadia. That's all I'm gonna say.
All we need. Welcome to March's Rebel Squad Talk Live, people. I am joined by 4 of our elite master rebels, and the rest are off doing other rebellious things and have deprioritized us, which is fair enough. So let's send lots of love to Arthil, Jamie, Rachel, and Cheryl. Not heard from Cheryl, actually. Have I missed anyone? Did I miss anyone? That's everyone, isn't it?
Yeah.
So us 4 for now, unless anyone else hops on in the meantime. And this month we are going to talk about porpoise.
Porpoise? I like a porpoise. Don't like dolphins though.
Last time it was squid, I think, wasn't it? Or was that not live?
That wasn't live. Thank God that wasn't live.
Thank goodness. So not so much porpoise as purpose. So this week, I think we've all got delirium, haven't we?
Yeah.
So this week I asked a question about what's all this purpose shenanigans then? Do we invest in it? Do we think we have a purpose? Do we have just one purpose? Or is it a lot of pressure to say we need to find our purpose? And I had some really, really good answers on the chitty chat. So I'm going to read you through a few of them, and then I'm going to open up the discussion to you guys. And if you are watching, folks, please chat to us as we go along. Come and ask us questions, comment, etc. And if you're watching on the replay, do the same and let us know that you're watching on replay as well. A little hashtag replay would be great. So our lovely Nadia here in response said, purpose is quite elusive, but I do believe we are all here to achieve something very particular. I think this is why we have a unique talent that we can keep trying to tap into in order to be authentic, highest selves. I like that very much. That was the first comment and a really good start. And then we had Penny Sue Wolf saying, I think the concept of having a purpose can exert unneeded pressure on our journeys. But I think if you look at overall patterns and decisions in your life, you may well see an overarching purpose. To actively seek it may cause unnecessary stress, but rather happen upon it. And then the inspiration for the post was from a good friend of mine, Bella Luna, who actually did a masterclass for us, didn't she, in Rebel Yell Club? And I
name that is so good, but isn't that a brilliant name, Bella Luna? It sounds like a Harry Potter character.
It means beautiful moon in Italian. It means beautiful moon. Yes.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Hi, Bella. There. Bella's absolutely lovely. So Bella has said, I like to move away from the concept of a singular purpose and refocus on just being more purposeful and living more purposefully. I have seen too many people waste a pretty good life searching for this one purpose that will fix their lives instead of just weaving love, joy and purpose into our daily lives and habits. This is a fascinating topic, I think, and you know, something that I've pondered for many, many years, and you know, we'll continue to do so. So I'd love to open it up to you guys to you know, invite your thoughts on this whole concept. Do we have a purpose? Do we not? What do you reckon?
It's strange because I think I started out thinking, oh yes, we've got a purpose and we have to reach its potential and let it blossom and bloom and all that. And then I read some of the other comments and I was like, yeah, I'm slightly changing my mind to think that we might not have a singular purpose that we have to go and chase and follow and scrabble after. We just have to be open, be receptive, and recognize when that purpose presents itself and manifests itself in different ways, and then take that opportunity.
I like that sort of being open thing. You know, just noticing what happens, I think, is a big thing.
Yeah.
Paul, you were doing what looked like a magic spell. I don't know if that was because you wanted to talk or what, but you're on mute.
Oh yeah. As I say, I'm not going to be here for long tonight, but I wanted to give my because I use purpose quite a lot in my coaching, and so here's my 2-minute perspective on purpose. That I want to talk about the purpose paradox. Ooh. Okay, so people talk about purpose as a thing, as something we've got to strive towards. Like we've got to find our purpose. We often get that phrase: we've got to find our purpose in life. We've got to find our purpose. What if the purpose was the other way around? It's what underpins your life rather than something you've got to find. So the way I describe purpose is it's what drives you towards whatever it is you're aiming for. So I talk about 4 pillars of purpose, and they are, you know, why we're here almost is to do something that you are good at, which is your talents, to do something that you believe in, that you're passionate about, to do something that's so you stand for in terms of either a set of values, or it could be a cause, or something you're connected to. And often people are looking for purpose as a thing, like I'm gonna find my purpose, and then I know what I've got to do. I think it's the other way around. Purpose is what drives. So I don't think we're on this planet to do something that we're rubbish at, to do something that we don't care about, that we're not passionate, to do something that we don't stand for, and to do something we don't feel connected to. So if you can just ask yourself, what are those 4 pillars of purpose? What am I good at? What are my talents? And what am I passionate about? And that can be, it can be a cause, it can be the environment, it can be whatever it is. And then what do I stand for? And, what do I not stand for? So what are my values? And then what do I feel connected to? Or maybe for some people, it's called to do in a spiritual sense. So to me, purpose is something that drives us, not something that we need to try and find. Purpose finds. In fact, and if you do read Man with Scarlet Socks, Nadia, this is what in Man with Scarlet Socks is these 4 pillars of purpose.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
It's not something you've got to find. It's already in you. Yeah. You've got to release it out. And it's by
I get that. Yeah.
Those 4 questions. What am I good at? What do I stand for? What am I passionate about? And what do I feel connected to? So for me, purpose isn't a thing that we strive for. We've already got it. We've just got to discover it and just connect to it. Does that make sense?
That's beautiful. And let's do a quick shout out, by the way, for The Man with the Scarlet Socks, which is a book that our Paul wrote. Ready. Yeah, a book that our Paul wrote some time ago, and there is a new one in progress, isn't there? And it is absolutely superb. We highly recommend it. Well demonstrated, Tracy. Available in all good Amazons, and also it's on your website as well, isn't it, Paul? Which is real-success.co.uk.
That's a very kind plug. Thank you very much, Emma.
You're very welcome. You deserve
that book made me realign my purpose.
There you go.
And that was the reason why, yes, it's a tearjerker at the end. So thank you, Paul Harris, for breaking me whilst I was sat in a hospital having my foot x-rayed going, doesn't hurt that much, it's the book. But it made me reevaluate, because, as you said, it was about that bringing that purpose within you and realizing that sometimes what you put stock and value in isn't aligned to your true purpose. It's just that every day, this is what we have to do. This is what we need to do to make our family happy, to make ourselves happy. And we get on that treadmill of life. Whereas finding that inner purpose is something that's so important. And I often think that people mix up purpose with goals.
Yeah,
and they're 2 entirely different things. Purpose for me personally is about that happy place. I have a massive purpose in my life, and that's 2 people sat through in the living room there from me, my wonderful husband and my gorgeous little 6-year-old. And that's a purpose that drives me forward, because that's what I'm most passionate about in the world. But I think it, like Paul said, it's about different layers of purpose, because there's another purpose tonight, and that's these beautiful people sat here with me now. They are also a purpose and drive me to do different things in different ways to achieve ultimately what is my happy place. This one is a purpose.
Hi.
So yeah, so I think, and it's one that I often talk about so much, like you, Paul, in coaching sessions and stuff, when people mix up that goals and purpose.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
Just to respond to Lisa there, I think you're so bang on, Lisa, because so many people set goals, and the Stephen Covey idea is start with the end in mind and work back. So you start what you want to achieve and then you work backwards. But how about, again, this isn't a man with scarlet socks, but what happens if that goal is not a congruent goal? It's not a goal that actually is driven by your purpose. It's just something you need to achieve, or it's a status you need to achieve, or and the problem is so many people achieve their goals but don't achieve contentment and happiness because it was the wrong goal in the first place. So before you even start setting goals, exactly ask yourself, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? And then work your goal back out that way rather than so it's completely counter to all the goal setting philosophies, but I've met so many people who've set goals and are still miserable.
Absolutely. And it's about that stepping back and reevaluating, isn't it? Because sometimes your goals are linking into that purpose, to that higher power, which means sometimes you're doing things that don't make you ultimately 100% happier, but you know that they're linking into that wider purpose. So at the moment, I'm working stupid crazy hours, like 5:30 in the morning till 10 at night. Does that make me happy? No. Is it necessary because of the purpose at the end of it and what I'm wanting to achieve for that contentment? Yeah, it is. So it's a short-term pain, as I think maybe you put it, because I know what I'm doing now with that is linked into my purpose, because it's about everything else that's in the background, you wonderful people, my family and everything else, and it moves me towards that. So I am content in that, even though it's painful at the time.
Last thing I'll say on this, and I'm going to have I'll turn my camera off and listen in, but is that often people think purpose needs to be a thing, a job, a career, something I've got to, again, exactly as Lisa says, mixing up almost with goals. Purpose is who you are. And therefore, it can be just, as you say, your purpose can be looking after your children. It can be whatever you're passionate about, good at, stand for, and are connected to. That for me is purpose. It's not a thing that you need to find or work out. Like, my purpose isn't to be a nurse. My purpose is to care for people. Perhaps it's to make people feel. And nursing just happens to be a method by which I can live out my purpose. But often when people are searching for their purpose, they think they've got to. Well, I've got to find it.
It's really interesting you say that, and I'm going to see if I can play a video for you that will really beautifully encapsulate this. So I'm kind of thinking about, that whole thing about, you can do any job and it be, it's never an only job. So, like the classic janitor at NASA said, when asked what he did, said, I helped put rockets up into space and all that stuff. Now, I'm going to see if I can share this video now because, hang on a second. It is really perfect for this. Now, I use this in a particular training course that I've delivered for years, and it just is. So indicate to me whether you can hear this as it goes along.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard the 7:32 train to Waterloo. Congratulations to all you who made the effort to go to work today on this cold, dark Monday morning, which is officially the most depressing day of the year. So congratulations to you, yeah? Big ups. Nice one. Wicked. Come on, guys, cheer up. It is 5 days to the weekend. Yeah. 5 days, 7 hours, 12 minutes, 2 seconds. Who's counting? Me. This is the fast service to London Waterloo, so we should get to know each other quite quickly. My name is George. I like swimming, hip-hop music. I also like gherkins in my burgers. Little trivia for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Hospital Radio's Loss is your game this morning. Hardcore Raven. London Waterloo. We are now arriving at Broadstairs. Please note that this station doesn't have a lift, but it does have Broadstairs though. Does anybody want a drive-through?
Thank you.
Hands up if you chose between snooze or a shower this morning. 10 green bottles sit. Why am I the only one singing? To the left, you'll see a park where I like to take my dog. He's called Fetch. Poor thing doesn't know when he's coming or going. This is a customer announcement. Will the man with the yellow lycra please tone it down, as there's a few passengers that aren't fully awake here. Thank you all for travelling with me, and thank you all for making my morning such a good one. I hope you had a good one too. Respect, brother. Have a great.
How good is that?
That's excellent.
That makes me smile so much. That's in itself, isn't it? That suddenly I've gone, I want to be on that train.
Yeah.
It's got Broadstairs though.
Normally you get the next station coming up is Hull, anyone getting off at Hull.
And you can't even tell what they're saying most of the time.
No.
It's just so good, isn't it? So it is a Belvita advert, that, but it like that dude is real.
Yeah.
I it doesn't matter how many times I watch that, it makes me smile every time. I think it's really
great.
Good, isn't it? So, just goes to show, even if your job may not be appear to be purpose driven, and all of those things, but if your purpose is to make people's lives chirpier, and give them a smile on their way to work in the morning, or to be the light in someone's day, that's a pretty cool way to do it.
My daughter, my big girl Charlie, who you all know, thinks I'm insane, and she'll constantly go, Mother, do you have to? Because I smile at people purposefully in the street, because they'll kind of either smile back or look at a window. But when I get in a lift, regardless, I will make a point of talking to one person in that lift, even if it's how's your day? We went to London recently as a family, and there's always lots of people getting in the lift, and I made kind of things to myself to compliment people in that lift. That's a really lovely scarf. I had a gorgeous conversation with a 5-year-old boy who had a wand, and I went, oh gosh, I said, I've got a wand like that. That's the only way you can make this lift go. And his parents were like, thank you, that's so lovely that you've spoken to him. Because most people are kind of so siloed in their own world, that is, we don't make eye contact, we don't look at people. But I like to make eye contact, and just a simple smile. You don't know what that other person is going through. That smile could just be that one thing where they go, oh, okay.
You could be perfectly placed in that moment. It's interesting, because one of the other comments that we had on that thread this week was from Eric Hyam, who says, I think it's all about trying to pass on joy, happiness and compassion to others. And you know what? If everybody's purpose was to do that, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now, would we?
Be a much nicer world, wouldn't it?
Yes, absolutely agree.
I think I can, sorry. I was just going to say, I think I can get on that one, because I don't work, I can't work, and so I have to look for a different purpose or a different goal or a different way to be open and prioritize my energy and stuff. So that's a really poignant message for me that this Eric's just said there.
And you do that, Nadia, you do that with this community. With in our team, in the wider Rebels and Rule Breaks community, and Rebel Yell Club and all of that, and I know for a fact you do that with other people outside of that as well.
I do, and I think that's what I've got to give, is myself and my experiences, and my wisdom and my love and my peace and my humor,
very deep empathy as well.
My empathy, definitely. My loyalty.
I think that the things that you've experienced in your life, you are You know, you never, certainly in the time I've known you, you've never been a victim to it. And I think that's, you know, from a role model perspective, is absolutely purposeful.
That's not always been the case. I've had to grow into that.
Yeah.
Or out of that, rather. I've had to grow out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we all have levels of that, and we all dip back in and out, don't we, of that mode. And Paul Anthony Pilling said, purpose and values are essential for individuals and companies. Otherwise, you find yourself just bumping along without any drive or passion. And that sort of brings me back to really the stuff that Paul was saying about, you know, it's to have something you're good at, something you believe in, something you stand for, and something you're connected to. So, you know, I think the passion thing is often, you know, I think you get given clues, don't you, along the way. I think someone actually said that in one of the comments, potentially. I think, was it Penny Sue Wolf, that you get given clues or patterns, and if you look at overall patterns and decisions. But I do think you get clues, and sometimes you just get swept into places, and it's not till later you realise, oh, this is where I was meant to be. That's what happened to me with this group. You know, I started it, as many of you know, after receiving a very odd message and from elsewhere. And I did what I was told, and then this happened, and the next thing you know, we're nearly at 1,000 rebels. And by the way, people, keep inviting on that matter. But you know, that was by no means me sitting there and going, what's my purpose? How do I deliver my purpose? It just sort of happened, and it found me rather than the other way around. So I think you have to be open and allow and notice.
And I think sometimes we tend to go through a certain age thing and hit a certain age where we think, oh my God, I failed because I don't have a purpose in life. I still don't know what I want to do or who I want to be or how I want to act. And it's about, as you said, Emma, and Paul said it earlier, relaxing into it, because it will happen and hit you at some point. I am now in my 20s.
I am Kay.
Hi. I'm not, I'm in my 40s. And I'm only just starting to feel settled, and that purpose is right, and that purpose is leading me to where I want to be. But yet when I was in my 20s, I was like, what should I be doing? Where should I be going? What are my goals? It's just about relaxing into it and allowing it to happen to you.
Yeah. Do you think we have one purpose, or do you think we have several, or that it changes? Or
so I'm the odd one out. I don't necessarily think purpose exists. It may go against what people think, but
that's what we like. We like rebels.
Purpose feels too rigid to me. Okay. It's like it's predefined. I'm not a predefined person. I don't believe that I have something that I was born and I'm going to discover it, or something that I'm going to achieve. I don't believe in that. I believe that we're born as a blank slate, and happy coincidences and random events and certain things happen that take us along different paths. And you have free choice at any point. I chose to marry my ex-husband. I chose to be in that relationship. I chose to leave. I've made various decisions that, yes, have led me here. I don't necessarily believe that this was where I was meant to be. I believe that it's just happy coincidences and random events that I'm here today. And I think that I can be whoever I want to be. I can choose whatever I want to do. And I think that things change through life. So the person that I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, is completely different to the person that I am today. And potentially the person that I will be in another 10 years may change again. And it's not necessarily that, it's difficult. I just feel that purpose is too predefined. If you know what I mean, it's almost like, even though it's not, like Paul says, it's not something that you're aiming for, but it's something that you're meant to do. And I don't know if I...
No, I totally get that. And actually, I sort of concur with you to some degree, because I absolutely agree. We have free will in everything we do. We absolutely do. No matter, this is something that I'm spending some time thinking quite a lot about because of various things that I'm sort of studying, so to speak. But we have, I absolutely 100% believe we have free will in everything we do. And when I think about purpose, I'm not so sure anymore that it is something. I think perhaps years ago I would have believed that it was something that was predefined for us, like say almost like written on a, some kind of ancient metaphysical book somewhere. Emma Shaw is destined to be chief rebel or whatever. But actually I'm not entirely sure that's the case now. I think we have many possibilities in ways in which to use our talents, our individual things that make us who we are, and that can be, we can choose to deliver that in any shape or form at any time in our lives. And to me, that actually is deeply spiritual. It isn't necessarily predefined, but it is very spiritual for me. And I have often thought, whilst I could breathe some sigh of relief that finally I found the thing, this rebel world is my thing, I also have to accept that in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, however long, this may no longer be, the world may no longer need this, and actually hopefully doesn't, because then my work is done, kind of thing. But it may well be that it's not right for me anymore, that the world doesn't want to hear it anymore or whatever. But I know that whatever I've gained and learned, and the talents and passions and values that I have, will be redeployed in whatever form I choose, essentially.
Yeah.
I knew you'd be tempted back in, Harris.
You're gonna resist.
I've eaten my tea now, so I can contribute back in. But I just love what Tracy's just said, and I agree with it. I can't tell you how much I agree with that. And what the phrase that came to me was, maybe purpose isn't a what, it's a who. So that's why I call it the purpose paradox, is that we think it's something a what that we've got to be doing or finding or whatever. And maybe it isn't, it's just a who we are at any one time, which is why it changes as we go through life. And I think for many people, if you say what is your why are you really here? Many people just say to be the best version of myself, whenever that is, or whatever that manifests itself. So I agree with Tracy that we get hung up on this as a thing, and I, Tracy, it isn't. I don't see purpose as a thing. I see it as a who.
I think some people maybe get mixed up with purpose and destiny. So I think destiny is the predefined thing. Destiny is the rigid thing. Yeah. Destiny is the one that we're supposed to, be. Whereas purpose is like what we've all said it is, really.
You just
Tracy, I don't think you're the odd one out at all.
That waffle into perfect.
I think Nadia's just absolutely put in one sentence exactly where I was coming from. That's what it feels. That's what it is. It's like my destiny is not predefined. So that's exactly it. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it, but Walt Disney brought out a cartoon called Soul.
Yeah, I saw it. Brilliant.
It really resonates with this conversation, because the guy basically lived his entire life convinced that his purpose in life was to be a musician, and something happens and he ends up in the where souls are born, and he gets this thing in his head that you are given your purpose before you then your soul is put into a being. And the film is about the journey that he goes through to realize that actually we haven't got one set talent or purpose. And he realized it was about just experiencing life and seeing, there's one point where she sees the leaf fall to the floor, I think it is, and she just admires the beauty of nature. And he realizes towards the end of the film that it's not about having a talent or a purpose, it's about living life and appreciating what's around you. And it just the whole film just sort of suits this entire conversation for that kind of thought process. It's really good.
It's amazing. Get the tissues out again.
So here's a question. Here's a question then, and I thought about this morning on my walk. What's the purpose of a tree?
Oof.
To grow.
So if you think
Depends how you look at it, right?
So
It depends what it means to you.
yeah, well, this is exactly. So I was walking this morning looking at, and trees fascinate me. They just fascinate me because they don't get stressed if it gets cold. They don't get worried if, and they shed leaves. They lose bits of themselves to help others.
They have stuff feeding off them.
They just
burrowing into them.
They exactly what we're all talking about. They're not. A tree doesn't think what's my purpose. It just be's a tree.
It's just a tree.
Just be's a tree.
That's a meme, isn't it? In the making.
Just be's a tree.
There's definitely a Disney film there somewhere. But I think but then I think Tracy's point again. We've all said that our talents, our skills, all these things change as we go through life. So even without sounding too hippie here, taking a tree, as a sapling, it's different to what it's doing to an old, 200-year tree.
Yeah.
Not questioning that. So what's my purpose now? It's just being a tree. And I think sometimes we try too hard to be anything other than just being ourselves, whatever that is. The best version of ourselves. And we get so hung up on this. Oh, I haven't found my purpose yet. Well, perhaps you have. It's already there. It's just hard to find something that's already exists within you. That's why
it's really strange because I've not long realised that that's where I am, and that I've suddenly arrived at who I am age 50 in the next few months, and all this time I thought that I was chasing the right thing, and it's only been the last couple of years I think. Just being myself is my purpose, and being my authentic self is my purpose.
Who's on?
Me. I was just checking the comments and it came on loud. And I was like, how do I switch it up? I was like,
makes a change. It's normally me.
They're chucking a spanner in the works there.
That was weird.
You're absolutely right, Nadia. Just maybe that is what we're just meant to do. Just be ourselves. Like get closer and closer to who we really are. Maybe. Just
being authentic and finding out what that is to each of us and what's important to each of us.
But how would you, with all of the expertise in the room here, I'm throwing this out as a question because it might help some of our watchers. That's what we call them.
Watchers.
How do you watchers? What are the bird watchers called? Twitchers.
Twitchers.
We can call them rebsters.
Rebsters. Love that.
Rebsters. How do you know when you've reached who you are?
I don't think you do.
No, I agree with Tracy.
I don't think you ever do. I think we spend so much time worrying about where we're supposed to be. When you're at school and you're 13 or whatever it is, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Gosh,
I am 42 and
I want to grow up.
I still have
Who said I have to grow up?
What I want to be when I grow up. I'll worry about it when I get there, but we are put under so much pressure through our whole lives. Grow up, be a good person, get married, have kids, meet somebody, whatever it is that earn good money, buy a house, go on holiday, buy all this material crap that you can't take with you when you go. We're put constantly under pressure, and one of them is find who you're supposed to be. I am who I am supposed to be right now. Tomorrow it'll be somebody different. Next week it'll be somebody different. I'm reading books. I'm speaking to new people. I don't think until it's all done and dusted that we ever reach who we're supposed to be, because we are who we're supposed to be. We are learning every day, and I think that's all it is. We need to stop putting ourselves under so much pressure.
I bloody love it when you get rowdy and passionate.
The earrings are swinging.
I think there is a peace that comes as you get closer to that. Like, I felt so much peace inside that I've never felt before, because I've realised about things about my gender, about my relationships, about my siblings, about family, about music, about life, about rebels. And sorry, I've lost my thread.
No, but is that, Nadia, is that the piece that you're finding there linked
that
with
piece? Yeah.
You stop looking. you're just being who you are.
Allowing, just being in the moment.
Exactly. I'm just being open to things now, and
But
not analysing so much.
But isn't that beautiful as well, that not only can you allow and be at peace with who you are, but that you can be curious, deeply curious and open to seeing who everybody else is and how they do the world, and how you can interact with them, and how your field, you know, converges with theirs, and all of those things. Like, if that's what you decide you want to be, you know, as a purpose or whatever, you know, that's what I'm going to decide to do. I'm going to experience myself and others. That's all. That there is some deep peace that comes with that.
And phrases just come to my mind, you know, and I love paradoxes and that sort of stuff. And I think what was just coming to my mind then is maybe the journey to finding out who we are is actually a journey of finding out who we're not, if that makes sense.
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
Journey to find out who we're not, and it's actually shedding all this stuff that's expected of us, that's suspensions, it's the constructs that we created as the human race, and actually it's shed all of that is the journey to finding out who we really are and recognizing, well, I'm not that, and I don't relate to that, and that's not who I am. And suddenly, as Tracy says, I quite like who I am now, and then next month it's different because you shed something else. So it almost feels like the journey to who you are is the journey to who you're not.
There was something you said before, Paul, when you were talking about the 4 pillars of how you see purpose. You said that to have something that you stand for. You also said something that you don't stand for, and I don't know if you intended it, but it almost, to me, that said the things that you will not accept into your life, the things that you will not tolerate. You know, there's hard limits almost that you will not allow, the energy that you will not allow into your life. I think that was an interesting point.
And sometimes we're searching for this thing that we're supposed to be, but actually the journey to that is establishing what we don't want to be like. And you know, I mean, we're all watching what's happening in the world right now, and the world is going, we just don't like that. That is not the way to be. So it's teaching through what we don't want to be and what we don't want to see. It's teaching us compassion and love, and the fact that we're all connected and we're not separated. And that this idea that people in Ukraine are separated from us in Europe, and we're all going, actually, no, we're not. We're all one, part of one. But it's the seeing that what we don't like that's helping us to understand who we really are. And painful and awful as that is what's going on, I think it's the same at an individual level. Sometimes we just discover, you know, that didn't make me feel good, or I'm not very good at that, so why am I trying to do it?
And I think it gives us a strength, doesn't it, when you realise actually I'm comfortable with that, and it's that strength too. And we have discussed it so many times within this forum and every forum we go into, that strength to say no, but to say no with love, because that isn't where I am right now, or that doesn't fit into what I need to be doing right now. And knowing that actually you're not causing offense by saying no, because it comes from a place of love, but actually because I'm assured of the person that I am, and that I can do that, and I'm not going to upset anybody, and I don't actually need to stretch myself outside of who I am and who I'm comfortable because I'm trying to make other people comfortable. There's a comfortableness in being comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
And being comfortable enough to look at the shadows and the parts of yourself that, you know, just look them right in the eye and go, aha, I see you.
Oh, been there, done that.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, this is bloody beautiful as a discussion. I'm going to do the usual thing, guys, and ask you to give me a last Jerry Springer style word of wisdom for us to close up, because I think this has been a really good rounded conversation, and it feels like a good point to bring it to a close. So who's going to give us their wisdom first? Has anybody got a pearl that is ready to drop right now, so to speak?
Or there's the phrase in mind, stop, pearl's going to drop. That sounds a bit dodgy.
I wasn't going to get away with the whole life without doing something stupid like that, was I?
Go on, Lisa.
Go on, Lisa.
So, be uncomfortable and happy in the uncomfortableness of being you, and that's what it's about. It's ultimately about being you and finding who you are and that you will make mistakes, that you will take what feels like the wrong path at the time, but is ultimately leading you down a defined path. Links into what you've said, Tracy. No path is the wrong path. It's just getting you to a different destination in a different way. And enjoy the bloody ride. We're here for a short time.
Oh, yes, love that.
I think mine would be just be open to whatever comes your way. Don't blink yourself to one path or to one aim. Just always be open to the experiences, whether they're painful experiences or uncomfortable experiences, or even just, you know, pure joy.
Yeah.
Experience it, learn from it, grow from it, and just find your way in life. I think that's all we can do.
I think mine would be, it's made me think about times when I've had very, very little or nothing at all, and having to redefine to myself what's important to me. And I think if I can live honouring what's important to me, for myself and for other people, then I'm living my life authentically.
Beautiful. Mr. Harris.
I suppose mine, I mean, I think Tracy summed up one of the things I was going to say, but I suppose for me, I'd come back to what I said right at the beginning, which was that if you're struggling to find a purpose, as in, why do I get up in the morning, and, you know, what's my life all about? I would ask yourself those 4 questions. You know, what am I good at? You know, talents. What am I passionate about? What I really, sort of, negatively and positively, what gets me going? You know, what are the positive or negatively? What do I sense of values, and what do I feel connected to? Those 4 questions. If you're stuck and you're a rebster wondering to know where the heck we start with this purpose stuff, then first of all, let it go, like Tracy said, that was really good. But then if you want to have a model, start with what are you good at? What are you passionate about? What do you stand for, and what do you feel connected to? I
really like that. And it's reminded me of this guy called Christopher Foster, who created the sponge guy, sponge as in SPH2O.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking about SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, not him. So I spoke to him last year, and he was saying, I said, you know, how do you keep focused on what you're doing and all of that kind of stuff? And he said, I just get up every day and I think about, how am I going to have fun today, and how am I going to help other people have fun, and potentially make something really boring be fun. That's his thing right now. You know, cleaning's boring. How do I make it fun? And I just think what a brilliant attitude to have. And it's not dissimilar to what Paul's saying, where I suppose, you know, for simpler minded people like me, it's kind of like, what's going to bring me joy today, and how can I bring other people joy today? That's I mean, that's good, more than good enough for any single day of our lives, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
So on that note, Master Rebels, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all the Rebsters, as you are now called, in our beautiful community. Let's have a quick number check to see if we've increased any numbers since the beginning of the live. Have we got any numbers there? Let's have a look.
Don't tell us if your numbers have gone down as a result.
Might have done, actually. No, they're still at 955. Shit, could have really driven people away. So, oh, hi Julie. So thank you for everybody who's dialed in tonight. And do a comment if you're watching on replay. Please ask us any questions you would like. Can't promise that we'll answer them. It depends how intimate your question is. But
okay.
We're normally pretty open kind of people, aren't we? But thank you everybody, and I hope this was useful and enlightening. It certainly was for me. And we'll see you on another Rebel Squad Talk Live next month.
Yay! Bye.
Squid.